is full. I'm excited. I'm ready for the show this morning. Nothing brings me so much joy than to have very, very difficult conversations in a very, very warm environment, just to break it all down to you, for you to understand and appreciate. My name is Miriam Uduakumenta, and you're welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24. This morning is one of the mornings that I would keep in the books, because yes, I'm about to do something I'm excited about. Well, having said that, before we get into our big conversation this morning with Jibu Water, stay refreshed has never been easier. Jibu Water provides clean, healthy water you can trust as your go-to source for drinking and cooking, with options of our innovative 20-liter bottles. Of course, that come with a tap, and 18.9-liter bottles. Your dispensers will have a breath of new life as our hygienic Jibu water flows through them for your consumption, whether you need a drink to quench your thirst, or fresh cooking water to make your meals taste its best. Jibu water is the answer to your clean water needs. Order for your clean water now by calling us on 020-9845-817, or visit our website at www.jibuco.com/gh for more information about our brand. Jibu water, a better life. Looking for a quick, delicious and authentic meal that brings the rich flavors right to your table? Well, try Coca Oriental instant noodles. Unlike other instant noodles, Coca noodles are air dried, not deep fried, offering you a healthier, flavorful choice. Coca Oriental instant noodles are available in both sachet and convenient 70-gram caps with a seasoning. Now, for your tasty 70-gram cap, simply add hot water and the seasoning. Cover for 2 minutes, then stir and enjoy. Whether you prefer original chicken, spicy stir-fried, or the original vegetable, Coca has something for everyone. Perfect for busy lifestyles like yourself, students, or anyone who loves great taste with convenience. Grab your pack of Coca Oriental instant noodles today and experience the perfect blend of quality, flavor, and heritage. For bulk purchase, call us at 053-6930956 or 0266721234. Coca Oriental instant noodles, so delicious. Well, this advert is FDA approved. Now, it's our big conversation this morning. Like I said, my heart is full. I'm filled with so much joy because I get to do this in my lifetime as a career, as a broadcast journalist, and of course in my line of work. Nothing brings me joy than to uncover great conversations and make sure to bring clarity to those conversations, and that's what we're going to do this morning. Joining me is the beautiful, now trending, Miss Abigail Anderson. She is a content creator and a model. Not only is she a model, one thing that I started owning later in life, Miss Anderson. But good morning, how are you doing? You good? I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you.
And this is no cliche conversation. You look absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
You don't have makeup on like myself, right?
No, I don't.
Do you ever wear makeup?
I did. I have once, but
Once.
then I don't feel like I should be anymore because I don't get to cover my skin.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't.
So you don't wear it anymore?
Yeah, I don't.
So unlike us who struggle our entire lives to be covering things, you're just living.
Yeah.
Without makeup, you don't have to go and be
No.
feeling. Oh goodness! Right now, I want to be you right now. But yes, today we're talking vitiligo.
Yeah.
As a person living with vitiligo, what does it mean to you to live with the condition? What does the condition mean to you? Before we get into that part, let me not even start from that part even. When did you realize that you had the condition?
So I started noticing small patches come on my skin when I was in JHS 3.
Okay.
At that time, it started with my lips, so I didn't think much of it. And then it was like very new to me, so I didn't really know what to think of it. So it started appearing on my skin in JHS 3, small patches. It started on my lips. Then I had to like go see a doctor for him to explain everything to me. And he was saying a lot. I wasn't making sense of the whole thing because it was like very new to me. Because how can you tell me that my immune system is attacking me, my body?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I don't get it.
What does it mean?
Yeah, because you're telling me my immune system is so strong that it's attacking my own
Body.
Yeah, it was a
How
whole.
old were you by then?
JHS 3 will probably be 16, 15, 16, yeah.
Ooh.
It was.
So you couldn't make sense of it?
No, and then like you know how African parents are as well. My father was not buying the whole thing, like, cause it was a whole lot.
Yeah.
It was a whole lot.
Do you have history of vitiligo in the family?
No, I don't.
So you'd be the first.
Yeah.
And the explanation the doctor was able to give to you was that your immune system is so strong, it's fighting your skin. Were you able to make sense of that later in life?
Yeah, I did. When I got a chance to like learn more about it, I understood that my immune system is fighting against some cells because it's literally like they are thinking the cells inside are intruders.
Yeah.
So they are being like bodyguards.
Yeah.
To like. So
I like the way you should be a great teacher. I like the way you break it down, just so that the layman would understand exactly what it is that is going on. Now, whilst your body started going through this transformation, because you're told that it will continue, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, which is that like a stage? Is that like for instance, when we say cancer, we say stage 1, stage 2. Are there stages to this, and what stage are you at, if there is?
There are no stages. There are no stages. Spreading rapidly.
It's a process, they say.
Yeah. But then you can wake up one morning and there's a new patch. So there's literally no stages for this. I wake up every morning to like find a new patch on my body. Recently, it's trying to cover up. It can cover up. You can regain your skin. Yes.
Wow.
So
now that's a discovery. So let's talk about that. So what are the doctors saying about your skin being able to recover itself back? What are the chances?
50-50.
50-50.
Yeah.
So you could wake up tomorrow morning and the part of your lips that has, let's call it faded, would be covered, and then another part would be covered, and there's a possibility that your entire skin could go back to what it used to look like.
Yes, and I can wake up one morning and I'm totally like fair.
Right.
Yeah. So it's a 50-50 possibility.
What does it mean to you to live with this condition?
Well, Vitiligo has literally told me that things are really unpredictable, and then you would have to accept yourself anyway, anyhow, because I didn't think I would have this confidence I have right now, but then it has taught me patience, resilience, and then like I have to accept who I am right now, because there's nothing that I can do.
Is that too hard for you sometimes?
It used to be, but not anymore.
Not anymore. How old are you now?
I'm 23.
You're 23.
Yeah.
So you have lived with this condition for, I'd say,
like a span of 7 to 8 years.
7 to 8 years. For 7 to 8 years of your life, you've seen your skin transform into what you've never seen before. No. And at what point did you say that I am done crying? Because I know you probably have cried about this.
No.
Never?
No.
I love you. I would have. Don't worry. I live for the cry. I would have. Okay. So what gave you so much confidence and satisfaction in yourself that, listen, I'm going to go through this?
So there's this model, Winnie Hallo.
Yeah, Winnie Hallo, we talked about her.
So, like, she's doing her thing with her skin. And I'm like, I can actually do the same. I can actually do the same thing. So why not I just, like, accept who I am and live with it? I've never for once cried about my skin. Oh. Yeah. I've had, like, people stare, and it makes me feel very uncomfortable. But
so you have felt that uncomfortable situation before?
Yeah. Sometimes I actually put myself in that situation. Oh. I'm like, let me just go out and wear something short for people to see. It's just a social experiment to see how like people react to skin like this. So I've never for once like come into my room and be like, I'm crying because of my skin. It has never happened.
It has never happened?
Nah.
Who would you attribute this confidence to? Yourself first. Let's give that to you. Let's give that to you. I'm telling you, I'm not this strong. I'm telling you. I remember there was a point where people used to laugh at me laugh at my legs. I had very tiny legs, and when I look in my class, all the girls had nice legs, and I was looking like I would go into my class and cry because I was slim. So I'm not as strong as you. Trust me. I would have done that. So. But this one is to you. Shout outs to you, girl. You got this.
Thank you.
So having this confidence, who would you attribute this confidence to?
So my friends, they actually played a big role in this, because they would tell me we are going out, but then I have to show skin.
Yeah.
Because I have to attract the attention.
Yeah, the one they're going to use.
Yes. They'll be like, if I'm like, you guys, today I don't want to go out, I don't want to wear something. They'll be like, no, you have to show your skin. Because it's literally you. And I'll be like, okay, then I'll just gather the confidence and wear something. So most of the times, people don't understand why I'm in shorts. Yeah. I literally want to show you guys that there's something I'm not trying to hide. Yeah. So
I love that. There is something I'm not trying to hide.
Yeah.
You've got to see it. I'd say this. Also, I want to find out, was Tidal Wave one of those days where you wanted to show people that?
Yeah, it was. And secondly, it was a beach themed thing.
Yeah,
so I
definitely
couldn't.
going for the shots.
Yeah, I couldn't wear something to cover it up. I wanted to like come out.
Yeah.
Because there's eventually going to be a lot of people there. So I have to come out and show that at least I have me and there are other people like me out there that needs to gather all this courage to come out of their closet. So Tidal Wave was also like one of those days.
Those days.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a space where there are other vitiligo patients, I wouldn't say people living with vitiligo, that you would say that, oh, I see my person here? No?
I've not met anybody personally.
Really? But you've seen social media?
Yes. Wow. I have a couple of friends who have vitiligo. Wow.
Yeah. If you were to make one impactful decision with this condition that you live with, what would it be?
So right now, I want to be an advocate for vitiligo in the sense that everywhere I go, I feel like there has to be something. There is something told about there has to be something that has to be told about my skin. Okay? So I don't get to like literally hide, and my people around don't get to hide. Because there's literally one girl that has vitiligo, and she's in my DM. She's like, how do I get this confidence? Because she can't. So yesterday she came to me and she's like, how do you do this? I'm like, girl, just leave. Just be you. Just do your thing. And then you'll be comfortable. Yeah. That's just it.
So run me through the process of the skin evolving into this. Do you have pain? Does it itch? What does it feel like?
So this is like something I really want to clear. A lot of people think that it hurts and it's like burns, but nothing like that. It don't itch, it doesn't hurt. It's just normal. My normal skin like changing its color. It's just like somebody bleaching, but this one I'm literally not bleaching. It's just God doing His own wonders. It's just God.
It's just God doing His own wonders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it don't hurt and it doesn't itch at all.
It doesn't itch at all. Yeah. Have you tried to find out if you're able to reverse this using medication? And what was the
So one time I visited a dermatologist in Kulebu, and he told me that there are treatments, but then he's advising me to just like embrace it, because it is also a 50-50 possibility. He can't entirely
even with the medication.
Yes, he can't entirely tell me that after the medication I'm gonna like. So I should just go home and think about the whole thing. But there are treatments. There are treatments. Okay. Yeah.
Wonderful. And do you foresee yourself in the future really going full force to getting that done if it doesn't reverse as soon as possible, if you want?
I've never thought
about it.
Yeah, I've never
just live through it. How has that affected your relationships? I know your friends are superhuman beings. They have stayed with you. But you're 23, so I'm thinking you've
been in a
tried
couple of
some romantic relationships.
Yeah.
How has that affected it?
So, one thing I thank God for is like every man I've been with, they are so supportive of my skin. Never for once ever criticized who I am. Like they are always showing their support. They are always complimenting. Like they are making me feel like a princess on my own.
There you go, aren't you? So, are you with someone now? No answer, please. We move on. No answer. I wanted that part of the conversation clarified because I want to tell you this though. I have had my own challenges with confidence, and I think that one part that played a key role in my non-believing of myself is relationship. When I decided to go full force into dating, I had a lot of men put me down. Yes, because of one situation or the other. And so I personally have struggled with that. So when I have conversations with young people, I want to be sure that no is putting you in that position. Yeah, because it's not worth it. Then you have to move. Right. So again, still in the public space. So you're in school now?
Nah, I'm done.
You're
I'm
done
doing my
with
service
university.
now. Yeah.
What did you study in school?
Marketing. I
Marketing.
majored in marketing.
Hey, she's about to take you for your money. Okay, okay. And then you're an influencer on social media.
Yeah.
How did you come about that? At what point did you say that I am going to now become a social, like I'm going to be an influential person?
So it's just about creating content.
Yeah.
Initially, I was more focused on being a model.
Yeah.
Because my role model is Winnie. So
Winnie, yes, yes.
So I was more focused on being a model. But then as time went by, I was like, why not try something else? So I'll create content. I love fashion, so I was basically doing everything about fashion. Like I'll come and wear clothes, show you guys this is how I feel and all that. Then the tidal wave scandal came out. It came, and
we're going to get into that full force. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the tidal wave situation.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, great.
So when the tidal wave trending video came out, and I got like a lot of backlash on the way I was dressing. I'm like, you don't expect me to wear kente to a beach setting. It was, and I'm like, yeah, it's a beach themed party, so I have to like show up. And it was even very impromptu. I just had a call that day. I was supposed to like go and interview people.
Yeah.
And then I was late, so
someone else got the
yeah. So it was very impromptu because I didn't even plan on going to the tidal wave yet. And I'm like, okay, so this has happened, so let me just go. And I went, and I'm like, I'm getting everybody staring at me like, it's normal. I get it every time.
Did you get uncomfortable at some point?
No.
This time you were good.
Yes. I show up every time, everywhere, like.
People are watching.
So I'm used to it.
They're used to it. Now, so again, back to the tidal wave conversation. You went to tidal wave to be a part of an event.
Yeah.
You left there the center of the conversation. But people forgot that tidal wave was an event, and they started talking about Miss Anderson, and you were everywhere. Blogs were posting you. In the very moment you saw that happening, what did you do?
Okay, so this is an opportunity I can grab to like. This is an opportunity I can grab to create an awareness.
What did you guys say? Clack it. Clack it.
This is literally an opportunity I can grab to create the awareness I've been always wanting to create. So why not like go on? And then you see there's these people called the Tepabani. When the Asante Hema died, the gods that came, there were people like me there.
Yes.
So everybody had a misconception that I'm from that place, Tepabani. And I'm like, no, you guys, I'm not from there. It's not everybody from there that has vitiligo. Yeah. So that has been one misconception that I really need to clear.
Yeah.
Because I'm not from Tepa, you guys. I'm not from Tepa. And not everybody from Tepa has vitiligo as well.
Yeah. Indeed. See, this country is such an interesting place, eh? Like, you just have to come and clarify something that in your mind should have been obvious.
Even if I clarify it, they are still insisting.
They're still insisting.
That I'm from Tepa.
Anywho, so that situation happened. You were trolled at some points, which I don't see why, but clearly there's a lot the education ministry could do to educate people on anything. You don't see someone looking at Santa and quickly assume that, whatever it was that they were saying. So they talked about your outfit. Yeah. They talked about what else?
The skin. I had like a lot of admirations.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people were like, I like this girl's confidence. And so my head was.
Yeah, you walked in with like, I own this place. Give me space. That's how you walked in. I saw the video. Momsen has the video. You walked in like yo, I'm the girl. You are wasting your time. I'm the one you've been waiting for. And I was asking myself that what could possibly be going through your head at that very moment when you're walking down, knowing, because I think you were aware. I read psychology. Sometimes I can tell when people know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You walked in knowing exactly what you were in for. You knew exactly the fact that people were going to look at you, and then you prepared yourself mentally for it.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Because when I was even walking in, before I would walk in, there are lots of people by the beach, and they are watching me even before the media cuts the whole thing. So I'm like, if these people are looking at me, so I entered and all cameras were like focused on me. I'm like, wow, I have to be really prepared for this. So I just entered like everybody. So I got used to it, and plus I wasn't alone.
Yeah.
If I were to be alone,
Yes.
it would have been like something else.
Yeah.
I was working with a friend,
Yeah.
so it was okay.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And was it the one that was holding your hands?
Yes.
Like, he was very protective of you.
Yeah.
I thought that was really beautiful. What's his name? Let's give him shout out.
Chances.
Chances.
Yeah.
Chances. Shout out to you,
Chances.
Shout out to you, Chances. You're the real G. I mean, that level of protection you gave the girl that day, that was beautiful. But then again, there were bad comments that came to you. How do you handle comments like that?
I don't take them personal.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes you ask me a question, if I can answer your answer, but if it's irritating, I just like don't mind you and I move on. I don't take comments personal at all. I can go on my social media, TikTok especially. If you go to my TikTok comment section, you will laugh. I get like a lot of backlash, and then I just pick my phone and I'm reading and I'm laughing, and my friends are like, "Hey, you try, because you can handle all this." I'm like, this thing, I just think it like normal. To me, it's very normal, because you can see somebody very pretty and they will still get backlash. So this is like
this
is
and you're actually very, very pretty, so you deserve
all
the attention that you need. Would you say that there is a part of I wasn't even going to ask it that way. What is your position, with your family supporting? Because you talked about your friends, your family coming on board. How many siblings do you have?
I have 4.
4 siblings.
Yeah.
And currently you're the only one living with vitiligo.
Yeah.
Your dad and mom are in the picture?
My dad.
Your dad is in the picture. Where's mom? Okay, let's not talk about that. Okay, that's not important. So let's talk about dad. Dad is in the picture. How does that feel about watching his little princess? What number are you? First, last?
Second.
Second.
Yeah.
How does he feel about his princess?
So right now he's just trying to grab the whole thing.
He hasn't?
No.
Oh.
Because African.
Is he watching this morning?
I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea. African parents, how they be like, so growing up, you don't know what's wrong with your daughter. Like all of a sudden she's changing colors, and then you are trying to make meaning of the whole thing, and it's not clicking. Nothing is adding up. I don't blame him, because
you don't think he's grabbed it fully?
No, he hasn't. Because I get calls, I told you to come home, let's go and find a cure for this thing. And I'm like, Dad, I'm okay. I'm trying to tell him I'm okay literally every time. But then he feels like I have to get it, He's now getting a grab of the whole thing. But he will be fine.
He'll come around.
Eventually, he'll be fine.
He'll come around. I would have thought the reverse was the case, But I love the fact that you're strong in this situation, because I don't think it's not cancer. It's not something that is about to kill you.
And it's not even contagious.
It's not, let's talk about that. Because someone asked me the first question when I told them that, I'm having a conversation with this beautiful girl. And listen, I barely post flyers on my status. Trust me, I don't. It's not intentional. I usually don't, like, by the time the flyer is in, I'm on air, I'm busy, and then I miss it. So when they post it on social media, I just share it on my story. But I intentionally posted your flyer, and I wanted to hear the comments that would come. Reason being that I want this interview to be as natural as possible, as real as possible. I don't want us, when we're talking about health conversations, I don't want it to be about myths and all the assumptions all over. I want the person living with the condition to tell us exactly what it is. So I wanted to hear from people, and mine, oh my. You had all the love on my social media. You had all the love. And I must say that. But also, questions that were asked me, like, is it contagious?
It's not.
It's not. So you cannot pass it to another person.
No, you can't.
You can't.
Even if I have it, even if I have it, my kid can't have it.
Yeah.
It's not contagious. Like, if it is, my friends should be having vitiligo right now. Because they've literally been with me for 4 years and more.
Yeah.
It's not contagious at all.
I am more excited about your advocacy project. So when we're moving forward with this buzz that we have now, or the attention we have now, what are we looking at doing specifically? Have we tabled a few things down that we were looking at doing to create awareness about this condition, and also get people to, respect that other people are living with this condition, just like every other condition? We should just support them as much as we can.
Yeah. So right now, I feel like I need like a lot of people to come and support me in this, because I'm
You
not
have one
alone.
supporter here, though.
Thank you so much.
I'm number one supporter. I'm on the list, so people, senior supporter.
Thank you. So it's me. I've grown to like accept it, but not everybody has that confidence I have right now. So if I'm to be in the spotlight and I'm representing my people, and I need like supporters to help us bring them out. Not everybody that has the confidence.
Someone
So
don't want to be.
yeah, but I feel like it's about time you guys came out of your shell. You can't be hiding forever. So all I can ask is you guys should be very, very kind and very cautious of what you say to people like me. Because somebody can see you and throw rubbish to you. But it don't work that way. You don't expect to tell me that, like, who are you? Then I take it normal.
Yeah.
Somebody don't take it like that. So you have to be kind with your words. And then I'm on a journey to, like, creating awareness.
Yes,
So you guys, I need all the support.
Like I said, like you have MX, you have me, you have the world supporting and rooting for you. Like you said, when Winnie came out, it wasn't that easy.
Yeah.
And even now, I still go under her comments and I see very bad comments. But she has had to grow into the woman that she's become with great relationship, good connect, being on the big screens. And higher is yours. So I'm looking forward to all the wins that are coming.
Thank you.
After this. What are your social media handles?
Abigail Anderson on all socials.
Okay.
Snap, TikTok, Instagram. Abigail Anderson.
Yeah. Okay. So this marketing thing, are we going to go and practice it soon?
Yeah. I really want to dive into commercials.
Hey. So as her manager, I know the manager is still somewhere, but as a manager, you have to book us for your next commercial. Because we need to be in that commercial before it will blow. So hire us. I think I want to have more personal conversations with you when you're looking at the possible situation that instead of the skin recovering itself, it rather proceeds to continue to not deteriorate but fade further. What would that? Have you thought about that? Have you sat down to think about it?
Yeah. Every time I think about it, like, I can wake up tomorrow and half of my face will be covered with vitiligo. Am I prepared for it? I am. Like, of course I am.
Have you discovered new patches today?
Today I just discovered that a black dot. So it's
at the top here.
Yes. So there's a possibility that it will cover.
So this is a new discovery.
Yeah.
Guys, zoom in. So after the time that the video was trending, that wasn't there.
No, it wasn't there.
And then I see one here as well.
Yes.
So this means that there's a possibility that this place will cover.
Yeah.
So are you telling me, Anderson, that see there's a possibility that this will cover, and there's a possibility that even when it covers, it will still come back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there you have it. There you have it on the screen.
Yeah. So
before the trend, she didn't have that.
No.
So the skin is recovering as you see it. It might deteriorate again, or it might cover.
Yeah.
And then you have your full face. But the only thing is that the only thing that is constant is that there's a possibility that it will come back again.
Yes.
It will fade again.
Yes. It's just a 50-50 possibility. You can't say. You can wake up one day and think, I can wake up tomorrow and this dark spot will come back to white.
Yeah.
So it's just a 50-50.
How many do you usually get in a day? Like, for instance, in a day. So today we're noticing a dark spot.
Yeah.
Usually in a week, how many patches do you notice that it's recovery or just new deteriorate?
So in the past 2 weeks, I've had like new patches on my face here, and there are some things I'm not supposed to do. I'm not supposed to do some things because
let's talk about that.
So, for instance, I hate the sun. I keep telling people I don't like the sun because I'm not supposed to be in the sun. The sun makes it spread very rapidly. Yeah.
Oh.
So if I'm walking in the sun, people don't guess why they don't see me. I'm not supposed to be in the sun. Yes, I'm not supposed to take certain fluids.
Like,
I'm not supposed to drink alcohol.
So you don't drink?
No, I don't drink alcohol.
Good.
Yeah. I'm not supposed to like eat certain things. I don't use harsh products on my skin. I don't even do skincare because
Yes.
my skin can't contain all the harshness. Yeah, so just my normal routine, get my skin moisturized and all that. I don't do skincare. I abstain from a lot of food. I'm a very picky eater, and then this thing came to me.
So is this
I don't eat a lot of things.
Your pickiness.
Yeah.
Are there any local foods you cannot eat?
I do locals. It's just that I'm supposed to eat everything.
So what aren't you supposed to eat?
I'm not supposed to take in. It keeps changing.
Okay.
Because today I'm being told I'm not supposed to take in vitamin C.
Oh.
The next time I see, I'm supposed to take in vitamin C.
Yeah.
Today they said I'm not supposed to take in wheat.
Yes.
The next time I'm supposed to taking. So it changes.
I'm thinking the vitamin C because vitamin C brightens your skin, I believe.
Yeah.
And that's the benefit of it. So you don't want to put a lot of that in your system. And again, so you do a lot of hospital checks?
No.
You don't? You're not required to?
I am required to, but I don't remember the last time I went.
You don't bother yourself?
No, because I've literally learned to. If I go to the dermatologist, meaning I want to do something about it.
Yeah.
So why do I go and see him
when you're not ready to do anything about it? Are you ready to actually learn? So, for instance, we just realized or learned recently that Michael Jackson had vitiligo, and that is why he decided to go for the procedure he went for to brighten his skin a little further. Is this something that you would consider one day if it continues to spread the way it is going?
Yeah, I might consider that one day.
Yeah?
But I've not thought of it, but eventually, if it's...
And it's not because you're not comfortable with your skin, but you just want it to blend in and just be cool? Or you...
Really, I've not thought of it.
You've not thought of it?
Yeah.
For now, it's not
something
part of your headache. Wow.
For now, I don't have it in mind.
Girl, I have met strong people, but this girl, she is super strong.
Thank
you. When I look at you, I'm thinking about myself like, girl, if I had half of this confidence, probably would have been working with the White House by now. Because I can't, me, I'm not coming outside. You will not see me outside. I'll be inside my house, But that's, in fact, thumbs up to you.
Thank you.
Now, you've talked about some of the things you're not supposed to do. What are you supposed to do as someone living with vitiligo? What you're supposed to eat? What's the intake of vitamins and whatnot do you need? Run me through that.
So,
are you on medication every day?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
But for those who are looking to clear and make their skin uniform, there are steroids, there are treatments. You can undergo a UV therapy, a UV lighting therapy to get your skin back. I think that's what Michael Jackson did to get a uniform skin. And then there are some medically there are some one or two things, but I keep getting people telling me that traditionally there are medications for it. Because you go out and somebody will be like, I know something for this, I can cure it. And I'm like, oh, okay, my dermatologist didn't tell me that there's a drug traditionally that I have to use to cure. But medically, there are other drugs, steroids that you can use on it. Then I used to use a steroid, but then after some time I see that it's covering, that it will come back wilder.
Because that's what it does. It just triggers it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to stay on it.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that.
That medication is mad expensive. You can't be so you can't be using it. Just imagine I'm buying one steroid for about 2,000 cedis, and it's something small. You have to finish it and go for another thing. It's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot. You can't do that. You can't put that financial burden on yourself. So you're living with it with joy. And we're about to make the internet wild. With our advocacy, with our showing up every day in our skin, just proud. Let me tell you this, okay? So it's from a big sister to a sister. I'm so proud of you,
Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you because, there was a point in my coming on set this morning that I said, God, don't let me cry about nothing. Don't let me put this girl in any position that will make her feel sad. I want this to be the funnest interview she's ever had, if that's even a word. I want her to enjoy every bit of the conversation because there's nothing wrong with her. Because that's what the world does, right? It puts in your mind that you're not normal. You're not.
There's something wrong.
There's something wrong with. There's nothing wrong with you. You just happen to be going through a phase. And this, trust me, just like Winnie, when it started for her, she figured it out and she's now a superstar. You're going to figure it out and become a superstar and do what you got to do out here.
Thank you.
So go out there and be you, shine bright like a diamond that you are. And note that we're rooting for you. My producer and I sat down and we no, this interview, we got to do it.
Thank you.
Because you won our hearts.
Thank you so much.
You did. And we're wishing you all the very best.
Thank you.
Again, how do we connect with you on all social media platforms?
Abigail Anderson.
Abigail Anderson. Nothing complicated. Abigail Anderson. She's the only Abigail Anderson on social media wearing the best skin ever. She's wearing outfits on outfits. And so find her, support her, because when our advocacy project is out, we would want everybody on board to support us to make it happen.
Yeah.
All right, baby.
Thank you
final
so much.
words.
So I want to say a very big thank you to everybody that has supported me from day one. My friends, everybody. If I say I'll mention, I'm gonna mention a lot, and it's gonna take time. Yeah. I can mention one or two. Yeah. I can mention one or two. So I want to say a very big thank you to Juju. He's the CEO of Mafia.
Okay.
Yes, and I want to say a very big thank you to my photographer, Lloyd. I want to say a very big thank you to Wright. I want to say a very big thank you to my friends. They know themselves.
That's why they know themselves.
Yes, and I want to say a very big thank you to Raised on Truth. He made me model for his brand, and then it went wild. Yeah, so I want to say a very big thank you to everybody, and to my friends, McDaniels, Hetty, Fiva, all of you. You have been so supportive. Mimi, thank you guys so much.
Oh, you mean me? Yeah, me.
Mimi, you guys have been so supportive. And to every other person there, you know yourself. I really appreciate you for being there. Thank you.
You know that message went to a special person. You know. The special people, we don't mention them on TV. You know yourself, you know. Anywho, thank you so much, Abigail, for sharing yourself with us. You've been so generous. You're a very intelligent young lady, and I wish you all the very best. Trust me that I am so proud of you. If I met my 16-year-old self, I'll tell them that that's the girl you should be. So confident, so strong, so determined, very resilient. I love you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And to you out there, I hope you've learned a thing or two. There's a reason why we are not just a morning show, we're a movement. We're here to impact, we're here to change narratives, and of course, distort outdated norms. And that's what we're doing here on the show. So make sure to be very supportive if you meet a person living with vitiligo. They're not anything different than you. They just have, in fact, the actual fact is that they have stronger immune system than you. Yeah. To the point that the immune system thinks that, listen, let me fight every other person because I want to be the only.
They are intruders in your system.
Yeah. And when your immune system is so strong, it fights everything. Yeah. And so that's what you see reflecting on the skin. It's nothing crazy. It's not contagious. It's not a disease that will kill anybody. It is just there. And you should be as supportive as you can be. Let's be kind, let's be empathetic, let's be supportive of these young men and women living with vitiligo. Thank you so much, Abigail.
Thank you for
having me. We'll see you again soon on the advocacy front.
Thank you.
Now, see you out there. We're going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, the conversation continues.